Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Hope you are doing well. So today we are going to discuss on Amazon ECS. In the last video we have gone through the AWS code build and where we create a custom Docker image and upload it to Amazon ECR. Now we are going to use same ECR, but this time we are going to use some Angular project. As far as in last video we gone through the React project, but for testing and the for this practical scenario I have used the Angular project, but it is similar to the React project. So code build scenario would be same. The only thing we are going to change is the framework. So let's start with Amazon ECS. Let's start with what is, or we can say the introduction part of the Amazon ECS. Amazon ECS is a fully managed container orchestration service that helps you to easily deploy, manage, scale, and containerize the applications. As fully managed service, Amazon ECS comes with AWS configuration and operational best practice built in, and it integrated with both AWS and third-party tools such as Elastic Container Registry and Docker. And integration make it easier for teams to focus on the building application, not in the environment. So basically, as we all know about the Docker, so if we need to set up a Docker environment, we need to set up one server. We need to set up Docker service. Then need to set up service startups. Also, if required, need to create manage different network types, the storage, all the things. So ECS is a kind of a tool which is fully managed by Amazon. We don't need to set up anything. We just need to use our existing image, whether you can collect it from Docker Hub or else ECR, and you can simply use set up containerized application, which is the core concept of the today's scenarios, because all the industries are want their application as a containerized application, or we can say microservice level configuration. So ECS is one of the core tool after Docker being used by maximum number of industries. Also, we can integrate it with third-party tools such as Amazon ECR as well as Docker, as I mentioned earlier. And this integration is very easy. So instead of having setting up the thing like to set up the image, set up the network, set up the service, we are more focused on the application build and application development. Okay. Next, the layer of ECS. So there are three layers which make the ECS a very comfort way. First one is capacity, the infrastructure where your container run, controller, deploy and manage your application that run on the container, provisioning, the tool that you use to interface with scheduler, deploy and manage your application, and container. So these are the three layers which make the ECS. Let's brief more about these layers. First one is provisioning. Provisioning including this much of services: Amazon command line service, Copilot, management console, web service cloud developer kit, and web service software developer kit. Then which controller, ECS scheduler is a core part of the controller, which is maintain the schedule, how the new container been run, and how the old or the unused container will be removed. The EC capacity, we can set up ECS using EC2. It is similar to the Docker Hub, Docker engine, where we can just set up the instance. But here, automatically EC2 instance will be created, and automatically this Docker role or service being set up. Second one is AWS Fargate. It's a serverless and fully managed environment for by AWS. And third one is on-premise compute. You can also use on-premise compute as well. So let's navigate to practical scenarios directly. So if you remember, we have this Amazon ECR private repository, and repository name is this React repository. Now let me navigate to ECS. ECS stands for Elastic Container Service. So let me validate if any existing is that. Let me delete this cluster so we don't have any clash in terms of the name. So let me navigate to service. So now here you can see there are many options, or we can see the functionalities available: cluster, namespace, task definition, account setting, install Copilot, ECR, repositories, batch, etc. So our first thing which we need to set up is task definition. So our first step is to set up a task definition for our containers. So let me navigate to task definition and create a new task definition. Let me name Angular Tech Server Global Task Definition. Why I'm choosing this common name? Because using this name there will be one role, IAM role will be created, which we need to identify, and where we also need to apply some custom permission. So first we'll create this task definition. I'm going to select AWS Fargate. You can also use Amazon EC2 self-hosted infrastructure, but I am going to use AWS Fargate. Select operating system architecture x86 64. This is a task size, the individual node where we can just host our application. The size of your task you can select according to your application requirement. So as my application is not being much heavy, so I just choose 1 CPU and 3 GB RAM. Task role. So there is pre-built a role called ECS task execution role. So I'm just selecting that. Now container name. So my container name, let me choose Angular and image URI. So I'm just navigate to ECS and copy this URI. Here you can see my account id.docker.ecr.ap south1, that is my location, and / React repository. I choose React repository instead of having this Angular. So this is similar to name. So I just create this repository in the past. But if you consider this application is Angular one. So I use this name because in last video we used this particular repository name. So I'm using this. You can change if it required. So let me paste here. Now my application is on port 80, and if you add any environment name, you can choose. You can add your log collection. with Amazon CloudWatch. If you do want, you can disable it. So I am just going with the default settings, 21 student. Now I'm going to open the GitHub and that project which we have been already uploaded. So let me open the Docker file. So I'm just refreshing the prior video scenarios. Like we have Node 12 at Angular CLI install npm Angular CLI version 9.6 work directory. It will install some npm and build the particular project. And from Nginx, the front end would be from exposed through the port number 80. So I use port number 80 and copy this builder to my project and USR share Nginx XML. So this is simple Docker file. Also, in last scenario we have build spec.yaml. So let me introduce that thing as well. So here, if you remember, I have set up the build spec.yaml in 3 phases: pre-build, build, post-build, and the post-build. So now just I'm re-verifying my repository URL. So let me confirm. This is my repository URL. So I'm just add it and validate. I'm just removing the repository URL name. This is a build spec from the last our video. So I put a same as it is. Now the one thing I just added, that generate the image definition for ECS. So I just put my image URI, the name of the image URI, and upload it to image definition. Also, this is my container name, which we are going to use in the next videos for the automation deployment of the ECS, where we can just use the AWS pipeline. So I'm keep this as it is. I'm not going more on this part because I'm also going to cover this part on the next videos. So this is my container name and this is my image URI. So let me just save it. So here you can see that my container name is Angular. So now next I have prepared a task definition. Now let me navigate to cluster, create a cluster. Cluster name should be some Angular cluster. And create. I'm using Fargate. Also you can use external using ECS anywhere. You can put EC2 instance. I'm just create. One more thing, when we set up the task definition, that particular task definition create one ECS task execution role. So I'm just adding that particular role. I'm using that particular role to upload the ECR updated image in the next few videos. So I'm also open that particular role and assign that ECS task definition role. This has been already I've applied. Add permission and Amazon EC2 Amazon EC2 container registry full rights. So let me just select and add permission. So here we can see ECS task execution rules been already applied. Let me now validating the clusters I think will create it. So first we need to set up a task to validate whether this image which we already have been uploaded in last scenarios, that repository is working fine or not. So I'm just going to create a task and validate whether it's having the proper output in the task or not. So let me navigate to task and run new task. Here I'm going to select launch type because I'm going to just launch with Fargate. Here there are two options, service and task. So after successfully validating the task, we'll set up this service. So I'm just first I'm going to use task to launch the instance with ECR. Select the task definition. So I'm just have this Angular task definition and create. So it's being provisioning. So it will take some time. So let's pause this video and I will resume back once it's been running set. So now you can see the task is on the running state. So let me open it and I'm just copying this public IP whether it's working fine or not, and let me validate on the new window. So here you can see some sample Angular app application and let me just put some input, for example 4, operator 5, and your second input is let's say 5 and calculate. So my 4 plus 5 is simple calculator application. So yes, my image is actually working fine. So let me remove this task. If your task being created and automatically removed, for example let's say you create one task and your container being automatically removed, so there should be some issue with your image. So make sure whenever you go with any ECS with prior image, so make sure it should be work on local scenario, then you upload it to ECR or Docker Hub or anywhere. Make sure you once you validate using task and then go with the service. Okay, so let me remove this task container and you can click on this and select all. So now I'm just navigating to services, create. So service is simple. We can consider we can manage the load balancer, the minimum task, maximum task, then other thing how the new container or task been created or generated. Those all the settings being managed by the content ECS services. So let me navigate to again launch type, Fargate, and platform should be latest. You can change as per your requirement. In this moment I'm just going to use service. I'm using the same task definition, version 1. If you have more than one version, you can just drop down and just select. Now service name should be unique, like tech server global, or we can say similar to Angular tech server global service. So I'm using Angular tag server global service name. Here there is option called replica that add and maintain a number of tasks. Well, like it is similar to our auto-scaling infrastructure, where we can minimum having 3 instance. Desired would be 5 or maximum would be 7. So those numbers will become replicated. So similarly we can add 2, because I'm just configured load balancer with this service as well. So I'm just going to use 2. Now let me expand this deployment option. There are 2 deployment options. One is rolling update and second one is blue-green, which is powered by AWS Code by our deploy. So first we are in this video we are going to learn about the rolling update. So minimum running task, specify the minimum percentage of the task allowed during the service deployment. So here we can consider as 100%, and maximum is 200, means it will multiply by with our existing running task. So you can change according to your requirement, and I'm going to use rolling update. Deployment failure detection. If it not work, then what happened? Use ECS deployment circuit breaker. It's failed to launch the new task and roll back to on failure. If any stage your that particular task is being failed, then what happened? It will rolling back to the previous version. Also, you can include your CloudWatch alarm if you just triggered any alarm if the ECS deployment failed. So I'm not going to use anything. You can turn service connect. Now I'm just navigate to load balancer because I just choose this as a minimum 2 environment. So let me create load balancer. Also, if you have pre-configured, then you can use existing as well. Let me create a new one. Let me name as a Angular and ALB application load balancer. You can put health check grace period. Container is running under port number 80. Also the listener port would be also 80. The target group, so let me name as a Angular target group. Protocol is HTTP and health check status is /path. Service auto scaling, you can also auto scale the service as well. So let me just create. So again service creating took a little bit time, so let me pause this video and validate once been service created successfully and our task with the deployment as well. So I'm just pausing this video. So here you can see it took some time to create service because it includes 2 containers as well as some application load balancer. So now here you can see service has been deployed successfully. As we know that we put 2 as a task, so 1 active running services and been running 2. Also here using service you can get more details. 2 tasks been running successfully. Deployment current state is 80. Let me validate task. So here you can see there are 2 containers been running and the task definition is Angular. Now let me validate to deployment is ECS and it's 100% successfully. So let me just navigate to this configuration and networking. This is service name, load balancer. network service load. This is the DNS name of the load balancer. So let me just browse using this name and open into private window. So here you can see the sample Angular app from the Tech Server Global. So this is the basic idea of how the ECS being set up and work using ECR. So our next video is on we are going to use source code from the GitHub. Whenever the changes occur, we'll upload we'll create a build, and after build we'll upload it to ECR, and same ECR we are going to use using this container service. So stay tuned with this channel for the next video. Hope you guys like the video. Kindly subscribe the channel and provide more and more likes in the comment section. Thank you very much.